There's a story, older than time, yet new every day. A story of wandering hearts and the relentless love that chases them. This is the story of Micah, a son, a dreamer, and like many of us, a prodigal. Micah grew up in a house where prayers weren't whispers, they were daily bread. His father, a quiet man of the word, always ready with grace. His mother, always watching the horizon, as if she knew he'd one day run. But Micah had fire in his bones. Not the holy kind, not yet. He wanted more. More than morning devotionals. More than working at his dad's repair shop. He wanted freedom, not realizing that the world's freedom often comes with invisible chains. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to death. Proverbs 14:12. He left without much of a goodbye. He traded stillness for noise, faith for feelings, and his father's covering for the counterfeit glow of the city. And for a time, it worked. He was the life of every room until the bills came due. Not just the financial kind, but the ones that come for your soul. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. Galatians 6:7. The people faded, the money ran out, and Micah, the boy who once knew every psalm by heart, now found himself praying for crumbs. But he couldn't go back. Could he? Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. He remembered the smell of his mother's cooking, the way his father would leave the porch light on. But shame whispered that he was too far gone. But grace says otherwise. Where sin increased, grace abounded all the more. Romans 5:20, and on the edge of despair, with empty pockets and a shattered heart, Micah whispered a prayer he hadn't dared speak in years. God, if you still want me, I want to come home. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. He didn't know what awaited him back home. Would they even recognize him? Would his father slam the door? But the journey home had begun. And the father, he'd been waiting all along. He left with fire in his chest and the wind at his back. But now, the fire was gone, and all that remained was silence. Silence that screamed of mistakes, of time lost, of how far he'd fallen. He'd slept beside rats and shadows. He ate from dumpsters he once mocked. But more painful than hunger was the memory of love he walked away from. Then came a moment that changes everything. When he came to himself, "I will arise," he whispered. "I will go to my father and say, I am no longer worthy." He rehearsed it in his mind, over and over, not expecting forgiveness, just hoping for mercy. But what he didn't know was that every morning his father stood at the window, not moving on, not forgetting, waiting, hoping, praying. And when the father saw him, ragged and broken, he didn't wait. He ran, not with anger, not with shame, but with tears and arms wide open. This is the heart of the Father. A heart that doesn't count the cost. A heart that doesn't keep score. A heart that runs when it sees a lost child coming home. Maybe you've wandered too. Maybe shame keeps you from turning back. But listen, he sees you, and he's already running. He didn't expect it. Not the robe, not the feast, and certainly not the open arms that waited on the porch that night. He had prepared a speech, a list of apologies, bargains, penance, but all of it was swallowed in a single word from his father: "My son." But the story doesn't end at the doorstep. Restoration takes more than a return. It requires rebuilding trust, healing scars, and navigating the quiet tension that often lingers behind blessings. Because not everyone celebrated his homecoming, the older brother watched. He had stayed, worked, obeyed, and yet he had never felt this kind of welcome. All these years, and not even a goat for me and my friends? Son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours. But your brother was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and now he's found. Grace is never about fairness. It's about love. Unreasonable, undeserved, unmatched love. And it doesn't just welcome the rebel home. It invites the faithful to rejoice, too. The Father's house has room for both. The lost and the loyal. The broken and the bitter. But only grace can bring them to the table. Because in the kingdom of God, we're all prodigals, and we're all invited home.